New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Colin Kaepernick, he's happy.
Well,
Everybody's unhappy for Colin Kaepernick.
I don't know if he's happy.
How you know? You
I don't
talk
know,
to him?
The message,
I'm sure he wants to work.
the message that gets put out there on behalf of him appears to be not happy with the way the NFL has treated him. Mm-hmm. If you look at like your rights camp on Instagram and you follow along with the comments,
No, I believe that that's true.
then you see that there's a thing that's like, this is unfair and we don't like it.
Right.
So that makes me think while he's a happy person, he would be happier if he had gotten the chance to compete for a job, which he deserved to get.
And it started out with him being unhappy, which is why he sat down. He was unhappy with the way people were being treated.
Yeah, but he's
So he started
happy
off
with what he's standing for. He's happy with what he's chosen to do with his life. He's happy that he actually has something to believe in that's bigger and deeper than a check or a sport.
But I feel behind the scenes,
I
what
believe
Ebro and
that.
I disagree about, and we've disagreed about this now for months, is that I believe it is important at some point for you to speak again and deliver the message of what it is you even stand for. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time.
I think that message is delivered. I think people misconstrue the message as it has something to do with specifically the NFL.
So then
The
why don't we
NFL
straighten
is
out that message?
Right, the NFL is a reflection of what America is, guys. That's the other piece that
That's
keeps
why
me
people-
watching the NFL.
Well, that's why
It's
people are
because if you're
protesting.
going to be honest, the NFL reflects the country.
Right.
And the interests of people who buy tickets and jerseys and pay for parking and buy hot dogs and sodas and turn on the TV and the advertising world and whatever. The NFL is a reflection of that.
okay.
And that's why people are protesting.
Well,
Because
but
they're
my point
protesting
is
the
that you
country
better protest a
overall.
whole bunch of other things too.
But to that point, Ebro, whether we think it's about Colin Kaepernick or now it's about more than Colin, he is the reason that this started, and people are now really on board
so
with
he's
this.
done his job.
But I think it's important for him, if he wants to play football, for him to speak again and let people know what he
And
stands
I
for.
feel if you think that he can play football, it doesn't matter what he says, because all he did was kneel and tell you how he felt because he was playing. He hasn't said anything since then. If you think he could play on the team, put him on the team. I'll tell you this for sure. He doesn't want to be a charity case. He don't want to just be like the poster child for like we did the right thing.
No,
He
I know
doesn't
that.
want to do that.
And I know that, and I respect
Yeah.
that.
He doesn't want to be like, oh, hey, community, we put Colin on our team. Now we're going to wheel him out. No, he wants to play. If I'm going to be on the team, I want to play, or I want to be able to contribute. I don't want to just be your little charity case. I guarantee that.
I guarantee it also. I know that's absolutely true. And he's capable of playing and contributing. I just think, talk about living in a dream world. The idea that that's going to happen at this point without him having some sort of public presence where people can be like, it's humanizing to hear from someone. Mm-hmm. Going silent, making a huge statement that's really important, and now you have people on your behalf marching for you in front of the headquarters, quitting the NFL.
But he speaks to them. He speaks to them.
No, but he hasn't spoken about what to everyone else.
Just yesterday, he donated another $100,000 out of the $1 million that he proposed.
out of his
He's
$1 million
doing
pledge.
that work with the people that matters.
We know he's
So
doing
what
the
else
work.
does he need to say?
If he wants to play football again, there's things he has to say
To who though?
to the world, so the NFL can be like, oh,
No, but that's on behalf of the NFL. I thought we was like F the NFL.
I thought you just said he's not like that.
No. But I'm saying I thought we were. Why do we want him to go speak to the NFL?
Because if he wants to play football, then we want him to take the right steps to playing football again. If he doesn't care,
he already
do
said.
whatever.
Didn't he publicly say he wasn't going to kneel? Didn't he already say that? Like I moved on from that. Didn't that already happen?
Yes, he
Sure.
already said that. Yes.
So what else needs to be said? Because that's all he did in football. That's all he did.
Well, I don't know, Ebro. If you have a thing, your rights camp, which is his thing, and everyone knows it's his thing. People are not stupid. And there's regular posts that are about protesting the NFL and going towards the NFL and reposting everyone who disses the NFL. You don't think that adds up and is connected to him? Of course it's connected to him. In fact, the whole Ray Lewis Nessa thing, even though I think Nessa's point, I mean, listen, as a white guy, I won't even comment on what I thought about her point, but I certainly see what she was saying. In that situation, it might have been his place to be like, whoa, I don't know about that. That impacted. Ray Lewis is an idiot and a liar. I don't necessarily agree with him. But for us to say, is there any chance that tweet had an impact? Of course there's a chance. But you don't hear from him. So we don't hear what Colin's voice is in the whole thing to be like, nah, appreciate that, love you, boo, but I'm still trying to work. You don't see what I'm saying? That's important, and I don't see why him going completely silent is the move. And this is, by the way, an argument between people who are all rooting for Colin. It's just about what you think is the strategy and how important it is for Colin to play football again. And I think it's important for him to play again. He's a young man.
I think if you really care about me saying something is that important, I'll talk when I'm working. Until then, I ain't got nothing to say.
They don't care. They have no obligation to him.
Well, then
the point is for him to work.
I mean,
so then we
obviously we
good.
see that.
No, but that's why I'm confused. I think he wants to play. He wants to play.
I agree. I know.
If you don't have a place for me to play, I continue to do what I'm doing.
But
if you don't want me to play, I continue to do what I'm doing. I'm not going. I've already took my stand. Now you want me to come lick boots? No, I'm not doing that.
Not about licking boots. Of course, I would never suggest that.
Clarity.
That's it. I'm talking about a statement. I'm talking about do one interview where you're like, yo, this is why I got involved in this. This is how I feel about these issues. I'm not trying to protest the NFL. I'm trying to protest society. I'm trying to protest America.
Right.
It's not about the NFL.
That's why I'm saying if I end up on a team, then I talk. If I don't end up on a team and I really retire and it's over, then I'll probably talk too.
Well, good luck.
But right now it's at an impasse.
I'm just telling you, this is from a strategy standpoint. What you guys are saying doesn't make sense.
Well, no, because here's what goes down in history. What goes down in history today is the clear evidence that if somebody disagrees with something happening in society outside of football, especially if it involves a government agency, the flag, or the police, you are absolutely not allowed as a quarterback to take a stand. You may not have a job. Mm-hmm. Now, there are people who the Al Michaels audio from last night, they're making sure your names are on a list. Your names are on a list if you are sitting or kneeling during the national anthem. And police, do you have the Las Vegas Police Department union statement handy?
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you.
Because this police department in Las Vegas that tackled Michael Bennett in the street after a shooting in a club, and Michael Bennett was running scared, and they tackled him and then said they was going to blow his brains out. Mm-hmm. While they could have just said, hey, we were following procedure. Officers asked him to get on the ground. We saw him running. That's not what the police union went on to talk about.
No, it's what they, and I'll read that in a second. What they talked about is absolutely insane. And Ebro, you're right. If what you care about is the narrative, the most effective narrative would be Colin never playing again and us being like, we learned our lesson. That's the best narrative for this story, which is true that the NFL only cares about money and not the human rights of the players who play for them. Mm-hmm. However, if what we don't care about is the narrative, but what we care about is a 29-year-old guy who spent his whole life playing football and is not done with the game that he loves, that's a different thing. That's a different thing.
I don't think Colin cares.
Maybe he doesn't. And if he doesn't,
I think the first point
is more important.
It's more important.
Okay. Well, then, like I said, then there's nothing to discuss. It's all good. I just think there's a line of difference.
Because just like people aren't watching the NFL now, it is dawning on them right now, people who have watched the NFL for a long time, that I'm watching something and I'm having a good time. Right now, they're watching something going, these young, poor kids sign up to basically ruin their bodies for a fat check so they can improve their families' lives. And these owners make gazillion dollars, and
exactly.
The NFL makes a gazillion dollars, and everybody makes money at the expense of these young boys risking their health. I did it, and a lot of kids will do it, and people will continue to do it. But everyone is in it for the money at every angle. The people watching, who are betting, the people who are advertising against it, the people, everybody's there for the money. It's all about the money. Nobody cares about the human aspect. And I think that becomes a larger conversation as this continues to play out. And like I said earlier, Colin did his job.
He did.
He set out to create a conversation, and it's being had. And furthermore, this police union went on to say what in Las Vegas?
This is insane. Okay, so this is after Michael Bennett was leaving the casino the other day and was supposedly grabbed by the police, got a knee in his back. They said, we're going to blow your head off. That's what Michael Bennett says. Dear Commissioner Goodell, on behalf of the rank and file members of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, I request that you conduct an investigation and take appropriate action into Michael Bennett's obvious false allegations against our officers. While the NFL may condone Bennett's disrespect for our American flag and everything it symbolizes.
Stop, hang on one
Wait,
second.
what?
What does that have to do with what happened in the street?
Absolutely nothing.
Because
Absolutely
the
nothing.
the NFL stood next to Michael Bennett as he's a quality player and never. So the NFL is standing next to a guy and saying, "Look, we know this guy sits during the national anthem. We know he's even cool with Colin Kaepernick. We know he stands against this police brutality. We are standing with him. The NFL has said this. So this is a key moment. This police department is now going at the NFL."
And you're right, Ebro. That was an important starting point that you just said. Is that yes, the original statement is that Goodell, without even knowing the facts of it, and I respect this because they stood by a guy whose reputation they know, put out a statement that was completely supportive of him. And I thought that was pretty. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's cool. Michael Bennett represents the best of the NFL." And remember, Michael Bennett has been the biggest, the most vocal supporter in the league, arguably, of Colin Kaepernick and kneeling. Michael
Since
Bennett,
last season.
Yeah, for a long time. Him and his brother are both very woke and on it, okay? Michael Bennett represents the best of the NFL, a leader on his team and in his community. Our foremost concern is the welfare of Michael and his family. While we understand the Las Vegas Police Department will address this later this evening, the issues Michael has been raising deserve serious attention from all of our leaders in every community. We will support Michael and all NFL players in promoting mutual respect between law enforcement and the communities they loyally serve and fair and equal treatment under the law. Okay?
You guys, this is a pivotal moment. We're at a very pivotal moment where the NFL is saying they're standing with their players, and the players are saying we don't like what police officers are doing in neighborhoods, and we don't like how things, as far as human rights, are taking place in the NFL. So everybody's boycotting, standing against the NFL, blah, 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 blah. I get it, but we're at a very pivotal moment right now.
So then you have one of the most important players in that conversation who happens to get mistreated by the police. And now the Las Vegas Police Department comes out and says, based on that statement from Roger Goodell, while the NFL may condone Bennett's disrespect for our American flag and everything it symbolizes, we hope the league will not ignore Bennett's false accusations against our police officers. Then he goes on to say, as you know, Michael Bennett posted a Twitter message regarding his interaction with our officers. Bennett said, Las Vegas police officers singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. Bennett's message included additional comments which we believe are false and defamatory. We believe that a fair investigation will establish that our officers responded to one of the most dangerous calls a law enforcement officer can be assigned, an active shooter firing rounds into a crowded casino. Thank you for pointing out the first and only thing you should have said, which is that an active shooter is a tough situation for a cop to respond
But like
to.
I pointed out earlier on the program, y'all call me a conspiracy theorist, you call me crazy. There was what is known as dog whistle language early in that piece. Read that line where I stopped you again one more time from the Las Vegas Police Union about what Michael Bennett's activity did.
While the NFL may condone that,
Yes.
While the NFL may condone Bennett's disrespect for our American flag,
Wow.
and
it has nothing to do with this. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But the point of your overall statement, Mr. Police Union man, is that you are not biased. And all you just did was outline your
How
bias.
biased? So you mean to tell me conspiracy theory?
Oh, here we go.
They didn't know Michael Bennett was in the casino?
But now you're talking about how he disrespects America?
And Al Michaels
Everything it
and Al
symbolizes?
Michaels made sure to announce that kid's name last night when he kneeled. If you're keeping, what did he say? For the record?
For the record, yeah.
What record? What record we keeping?
We're recording. So this is the record now.
So, to your point, Ebro, what an amazing impasse we come to, where now the NFL is being pitted. The NFL, who has kind of been the villain in the Kaepernick situation, is now being pitted against the Las Vegas Police Union, who's saying, oh, well, you support these guys. And Goodell, to his credit, I believe, from the beginning, they knew Michael Bennett's a good guy. So they jumped out without even knowing the facts and said, we like Michael Bennett. We want to stand next to Michael Bennett. And now they're like, oh, really? You guys are against this too? Ebro's right. It's an unbelievable
This is a
circumstance.
very interesting time.
It is a very interesting time.